10 Worst Seaside Towns in England. Culturally speaking, seaside towns have occupied a long part of British life. It has been an institution in England. Unfortunately, this cultural institution is not enjoying 100% attention. Some of these coastal resorts are not what they used to be back in their days of glory. While some of them have progressed leaps and bounds, some have deteriorated drastically and need serious attention. To join in calling attention to these places, we hereby present to you the list of 10 worst seaside towns in England. The seaside towns in England were better positioned in the past. For various reasons, including neglect and economic decline, these towns gradually deteriorated to the point that they are now among the 10 worst seaside towns in England. 10. Scarborough. We want to beg in this discussion with Scarborough, a seaside town in the borough of Scarborough. This town in North Yorkshire is between 3 and 70 metres above sea level on the North Sea coastline and is one of the 10 worst towns in England. There are a lot of things going bad for this town. If you check the older part of the town, you will see somewhere protected by a rocky headland, as if the town is good only for stag parties. Residents usually advise people to avoid this place if they're not ready to dress shabbily with traffic cones on their heads as drunkards. The hotels and accommodations are no longer as impressive as they used to be. 9. Grimsby. We don't need to labour too much to establish the fact that Grimsby is not among the best seaside towns in England. In fact, the mere mention of the name of the large port town, which is also the administrative centre of northeast Lincolnshire, provokes some negative emotions in some of its passionate haters. Located on the south bank of the Humber estuary near the North Sea, its name is the butt of jokes in the United Kingdom. Rather than addressing it with the full name Great Grimsby, the town has been an object of caricature, especially in Sacha Baron Cohen's film The Brothers Grimsby. The town, which is known for its ducks and fishing industry, is generally seen as full of rubbish. 8. Cleethorpes. While discussing this town, it is good to remember that it is originally a fishing industry centre in northeast Lincolnshire, on the estuary of the Humber. With the most recent population of 38,372, Cleethorpes has developed into a resort since the 19th century. However, due to a lack of care and regular maintenance of its facilities, it has gradually degraded to one of the worst seaside towns in England. A horrendous fort on the coastline contributes to the unwholesomeness of scenes in this town, and this is also made worse by the sights of crying toddlers uncared for as seen in many posters depicting the town. 7. Blackpool. Yes, Blackpool is a large town. The seaside resort in Lancashire is located on the northwest coast of England as the main settlement within its borough, also called Blackpool. This town hasn't enjoyed good ranking and its name conjures a blackish image. It used to be the lowest ranked seaside town in Lancashire. Though a night staying here is cheaper, it hasn't done well as a tourist attraction. In the aspect of value for money, shopping and beaches, it is not doing too well, scoring maybe 2 stars or even less. As a prime holiday once popular for its beachside donkey rides, its recent decline hasn't gone unnoticed. These days it's better known for high levels of poverty and prevalent drug abuse. 6. Oldham. Oldham is another town in the northwest found on the list of 10 worst seaside towns in England. The Office of National Statistics has announced Oldham as one of the most deprived towns in Britain and England. It has actually been the most deprived. The residents are not happy if you tag the town as a seaside resort because, according to one of them, the town is as though the government has been performing nuclear testing there for years. 5. Gravesend. When people hear the name of this town, they can't take the image of a grave conjured up in their minds away. They are imagining some idyllic town, but to be fair, that is not all there is to this town in northwest Kent, situated 35 kilometres east-southeast of Charing Cross in central London. All efforts made to boost the image of this town have not taken it out of the list of worst towns in England. Unfortunately, only a certain minority group has been responsible for most of the bad reviews of this town, and this is frustrating the effort of the good ones. 4. Whitby. The next of the 10 worst seaside towns in England is Whitby, a port and civil parish in the borough of Scarborough in North Yorkshire. Whitby is situated on the east coast of Yorkshire toward the mouth of the Esk River. Despite its maritime and mineral, its tourist heritage is no longer relevant. This town, though, has long attracted lovers of vampire lovers and witch hunters because of its rich literary history. Tourists want to avoid visiting this town again upon seeing the Satan's Mini Break tagline. Then the sight of vicious-looking seagulls, sad-looking pensioners and mismatched goths are among various reasons to avoid this seaside town, described by some as the depths of hell. 3. Scunthorpe. This industrial ancient town located in the unitary authority of North Lincolnshire in Lincolnshire is also a seaside town with plenty of beaches numbering dozens, mostly non-functional. Scunthorpe is the third worst seaside town in England. This town will do well if ranked as an industrial town, as it's the UK's largest steel Scunthorpe processing centre, even though it has also been suffering a decline in recent years. This town is not the best place to go for lovebirds hoping to spend some time on sandy beaches. There are very few tourist attractions in this town, nicknamed Scumthorpe by those who visit it in high hopes. They don't get a nice picturesque setting, can't get close to animals, and there are no festivals and carnivals. 2. Skegness. Skegness can't escape a list like this. This seaside town on the Lincolnshire coast on the North Sea is 69 kilometres to Lincoln and 35 kilometres northeast of Boston. We have once agreed with those who ranked Skegness as the worst seaside resort in the UK, and we still stand by the content of one of our productions on this. The seaside town of Skegness is also a civil parish in the East Lindsey district of Lincolnshire and is a terrible place to stay. On many surveys conducted to ascertain the livability of seaside resorts in England and the UK, Skegness has always fared badly. If it doesn't rank the worst seaside place to visit, it'll be one of the worst places to work. So far, it's been scoring low points in such rankings. 1. Dover. Most people will certainly agree with the inclusion of Dover on this list. What some people may argue is being ranked the worst seaside town. However, the town, which is a major ferry point in Kent facing France across the Strait of Dover, has a lot of controversies around it. Known as the gateway to Europe, most people stopping at Dover for one reason or the other are usually glad they can quickly leave behind the narrowest part of the English Channel at 33 kilometres from Cap Grinet in France. While it is famous for the white cliffs, the small seaside town has been recognised by authorities as the worst place in Britain. This seemingly tired little seaside spot has always been dubbed a town for passers-by. It has received knock after knocks year after years as the worst town in England. The town has been left behind as other places are being regenerated. How do you feel about these towns? Do you agree that they are the worst seaside towns in England? Please let us know what you think. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment and turn on the notification bell. This is Learning Canteen.